The law of giving and receiving. Concept. People get confused about giving and receiving because they wonder how much they should give in order to receive. Sometimes they wonder if they are receiving a fair share. But the concept is easy once you look at it from the point of view of emotion and not money or chattels. The way to ensure that you will always have enough is to forget about the money and concentrate instead on giving of yourself emotionally. That is, supporting people, putting out energy, being there for others. People are scared and insecure, and they need emotional support. They need protection. It costs you nothing to give it to them. To do so, you have to put aside your problems and worries. You have to subjugate your ego, get underneath people psychologically, and push them up from below. You practice listening, empathizing, really hearing what they are saying, instead of cocking an ear politely in their direction while thinking about something else. Look them in the eye when they speak. Repeat back to them words that they have used, so they know that you have listened and understood them. When they are negative, come up with a few words of consolation. Recognize that their emotions are painful for them to bear. Say, for example, "Gee, I understand. That must be tough. It must be very disappointing for you that such and such a thing happened." Don't buy their emotion, just be there for them while they let it out. Don't try to fix things. People usually don't need fixes, they just need a strong, kindly person to listen and to empathize. A few theirs is all it takes. Show interest in life and humanity and people. When you meet someone, ask them questions. Where were you born? Who are you? Are you married? Where do you live? Be there for them. And listen to the answers. Concentrating on people is loving them. So agree to concentrate. That is emotional giving. It helps people feel more secure. Then, never depreciate them or their efforts. At best, you might suggest in a non-threatening way some other course of action, one that might be stronger, more likely to succeed than the course they've embarked on. Never trash people or dump on them. Never say things that might hurt them or scare them. Always try to keep them safe. Make these laws of giving a part of your code of living. You will fail, as we all do, and you'll get annoyed and lose it. But keep trying, for in the end, you have to fall in love with life and yourself. And falling in love with humanity is one of the ways you learn to love yourself. It's the first hurdle in the giving game. It's the way we master giving. And in doing so, we develop a spiritual quality. We develop charm. Through it, you become spiritually prettier. People respond to that. They will seek you out. Emotional support and protection is kind and benevolent. In a harsh dog-eat-dog world, it's pure heaven when you meet someone who's benevolent and kind and there for you. Once you have the emotional giving sorted, the rest of it follows along naturally. You give of your money and gifts depending on what you can afford. You don't have to spend a lot. Sometimes a small gift, well chosen, with the recipient in mind, is more valuable than something that costs a lot. When I was in the jeans business years and years ago, there was a chap who came into the warehouse regularly. He had a company known as the Good Fairy. Whenever he came in, he arrived with a small present. It was often just a few sticky buns or chocolates or cold drinks, something like that. Everyone liked him, and we cut him all sorts of special deals on the jeans he bought. He would have had his sticky bun money back from us 1,000-fold in discounts on jeans, because he thought of us and took time out to stop at the bakery before he came in to do business. He had giving and receiving sorted out. He was a very humble kind of guy, and he made millions in jeans and the property business. Good luck to him, I say. So the giving and receiving trick is not to be self-centered, and don't be a scaredy cat tight ass. Remember, there's no shortage. Money is energy. You are energy, and there's plenty of both. So give emotionally to others and open yourself up to being there for others. Be kind and emotionally generous, and never rob people of their positiveness or their hopes. Always build them up. Never depreciate them, even if you consider their ideas a bit silly. Back them verbally and emotionally without condition. And if you really can't bring yourself to back them unconditionally, then at least be neutral, as I said. Now, to the receiving. Get your head around the idea that everybody's money is your money. Do things which allow you to truly comprehend that the world is yours. Go to the art gallery in town and look at the great works and place the image of those pictures inside your heart. They are yours. Go to the jewelry store and mentally place those fine things inside you as well. It's nothing more than reaching out in your mind's eye for a necklace, pulling it back and placing it inside you. It's now yours, rather than being unobtainable behind the window as you gaze at it from the street. Look at the fine things of life and own them mentally. Let them belong to you. Now let's start to affirm these ideas as true. Go take $1,000 out of the bank and try to never walk around with less than, say, $500, even if it is the last of your money. If you can't manage a permanent float of 500 right now, then settle for less, but carry cash with you everywhere you go. Of course, if you can manage more, carry a couple of grand. Don't worry about losing it, or those negative waves about being robbed. You are in the flow and balanced and in charge of your money. No one's taking it from you. In fact, they're lining up to give you more. Get used to having money in your pocket, knowing that you are abundant and that more is coming, and knowing that you are responsible and you won't go potty and blow it all in 10 minutes if you can't afford to. Carry real money, not plastic. Credit cards have negative connotations. They're often a symbol of lack, not abundance. They are a mechanism which appeals to the ego, and so they control people. Using credit cards, people overspend, and that trips them into worry and fear, for the bill is on the way. Don't use credit cards except when you have to establish credibility, like at car rental companies. The rest of the time, use cash. It's solid and real, and it helps you feel rich. Its presence in your pocket is an affirmation that you have money and that you are open and ready to receive even more. Next, believe in your abundance. When bills come in, pay them the same day. If you don't have the money yet, as say you are waiting for payday, write out the check today anyway and post-date it or leave the date blank. Put the checks you owe on your desk, nice and neat and in their envelopes, waiting in line to be mailed. Don't allow bills to rob your spirit of its hopefulness. Be prepared to pay cash for everything right now and on the spot. After all, you want to receive right now, don't you? So don't contradict that by hanging on to the money that's owed to others. Cut the check and know that the universe will provide. Quickie, if you are massively in debt and out of control, file for bankruptcy. Get rid of all the old money aggro and tell your creditors and the universe that you're sorry for mismanaging your life and for denying people their rightful payment. Then never accept credit again. I went to America as an illegal immigrant with very little cash. It didn't take me long to rack up a whole load of debt. That obligation and the weight of the emotion it caused me slowed me down a whole bunch. One day I decided to sell everything and pay off large chunks of my debt, even though it would leave me with no assets in hand. I decided to pay all new bills in cash the day they arrived, or, because I traveled a lot, within a few days of my getting back from a road trip. Then I did a deal with the people to whom I was in debt, and they agreed to monthly payments. My biggest creditor was a sweet man called Bob. I owed him $55,000, so I sent him 55 $1,000 checks. Every month his money went through, and eventually I didn't owe Bob a dime. He got it all back. I made the information that I wasn't going to live in the emotion of lack anymore, and that even though I didn't have enough to pay all my old debts, I was ready to reform and simplify my life by creating no new debt. In addition, I agreed with self to work especially hard to settle my old obligations. Doing this changed my financial situation around. It took me several years to get it all sorted out, as I was originally over $400,000 in debt. But in the space of 5 years, I settled everything, including paying an ex-wife $100,000. In addition to paying my debts, I made and saved several $1,000,000. Make the affirmation that you are abundant enough and disciplined enough to go to a cash basis, paying for things as you go. Soon your whole outlook changes. You go from desperately needing to win a little time for your bills, to being serene and at one with your money trips. Suddenly this mind shift clicks the universe at large onto your side, and you're now coming from strength. That solidity pulls money to you more and more. Of course, you first must go past your resistance to letting go. It's weird how it all works. I reckon it's your fearlessness and self-discipline that affects the change. I should also remind you that, as part of your affirmation that you're open and worthy to receive, you'll have to practice accepting what is offered to you in life. I deal with this idea a lot in my other books, so I won't dwell on it here, but let me remind you of the rule. First, whatever gifts you're offered, no matter how useless or grim the gift might be, take it. Never refuse to receive. Worst way, you can always give that dreadful vase to someone you don't like. Second, never refuse money from anywhere. If a friend offers to pay for dinner, let them. Be gracious and thank them and tell the universe, thank you for paying for my dinner. If a person wants to pay you for some inconsequential act, accept, and never walk past money on the street without picking it up, even if it's just a small coin. Humble yourself and stoop for it. It doesn't matter what others think. You can't put out the message that you're too proud or too uptight to receive free money. The universe doesn't know the difference between a dime and a million. If you refuse the dime, the universe thinks you don't want money, so you collapse your chances. Accept all that is offered to you, even the mucky coins in the mud. Make it a rule never to refuse anything that comes to you for free. Metaphysics. The metaphysics of giving are silent and centered around the projection of your etheric subtle body. When you express hope and cheerfulness, when you are expressing outwardly, emitting energy, your etheric is like the sun. Remember I said that negative energy makes your etheric collapse in on itself. The more you get used to projecting outwards, the longer your etheric reach becomes. It's an inner reach. So give silently. When you pass a person in the street, mentally reach out and touch them in the heart, and silently project the thought, love. Or project admiration for them even though you don't know them. Back them. Believe in them. Project goodness, hope and positivity. If you see that they are upset, project the thought or word, serenity or calm. If you see them angry, project peace. Don't judge them. Know that they have some inner issue unresolved, probably from a long time ago. Love them even if they appear a bit ugly. Make it a rule never to pass a person in the street without projecting some kind of silent goodwill. Now, if you're coming out of the Tokyo Underground in the rush hour and there's 60,000 people there, don't mess with trying to get them all. Pick a few here and there and leave it at that. Otherwise, energy-wise, you'll be on your knees. But keep projecting silently for the eventual healing of everyone on the planet. Silently touching people you pass without them knowing. Like angels touch us in our sleep without us being aware of their presence. That's the metaphysical giving sorted. Let the receiving come in from the inner worlds. As you displace energy out from yourself out into our external 3D world in a positive silent way, you automatically pull more from elsewhere in the inner worlds. It comes to you as you project out. It also comes to you in the night while you sleep. The energy coming in is pure spiritual light, and so you will feel more energetic or will have more stamina. Sometimes the light comes to you containing information. A thought goes off in your head, and suddenly you realize you need to buy $100,000 worth of aluminum futures. And so you act on that intuition and you buy them. Eventually everyone else decides intellectually that aluminum is a good thing. And the price goes up. And you got the inside tip weeks ago. You cleared your position and you're at the beach projecting the word, relax, to the vacationers who pass by, healing them bit by bit, one at a time. In a world where most everyone projects uncertainty, some make a living of projecting fear, and governments have whole ministries devoted to sustaining fear, it's a cool little whiz that knows how to turn his or her energy the other way and give out security. It makes you different, silently different. The energy builds over time, I promise. Action. One of the best actions you can perform in relation to giving and receiving is to keep a gratitude book. I understand Oprah Winfrey recently picked up on this idea and she's been talking about it on TV. I haven't seen the show, but here's the technique in case you don't know it. You keep a journal of all the things you are grateful for. You write in it every day as a discipline. Oprah suggests 5 things each day. It's a way of pulling abundance to you. In the act of being grateful, you are acknowledging your abundance. The fact that you have to take, say, 5 minutes to write your journal each day means you are observing your blessings, so you make them more real. Your mind projects more satisfaction and less lack, and so more good things come to you.